and start the recording, and we'll let everyone in when they come. But everyone now on the call, welcome. Good to see so many of you already here. And I know some of you, and that's of course great. But even better is that I do not know everyone on the call, which to me tells that you're here to learn about this opportunity, and hopefully we are able to do just that. So today I will introduce the FIDELIS support for the adaptation of solution, first open call opportunity. My name is Tuomas Alaterä. I come from TAU FST, which stands for Tampere University and Finnish Social Science Data Archive. And I'm a task lead of FIDELIS Talks 9.2, which just happens to be the support for the adaptation of solutions. So I've been coordinating this opportunity. I'm not the expert of the all training possibilities we will introduce today, but more of the person trying to coordinate the effort here. And with me today is Anja from Trust IT. She will jump in once we get to the discussion about grants platform and how to apply. Before that, I will go through a sort of a general presentation, what we are offering, what is the cascading grant we are aiming, and what are the actual support opportunities. And let me see if we are able to switch to the next slide. Yes, we are. So first of all, since as I noted, I do not know everyone, so I'm not expecting that you know what FIDELIS is. So FIDELIS is the Horizon EU project with a grant number there as well, aiming for the sort of fair enabling trust for the digital repositories in Europe and how we're able to make them stronger. We focus on their abilities, the needs they have. So keywords there being the trustworthy, digital, and repositories. These are the major groups we are targeting here. We're also working very closely with our sister project, EOSC Eden, which Eden is addressing, let's say, digital preservation, those solutions in more detail, while FIDELIS is targeting repositories, making them more trustworthy, upskilling repository staff throughout the project. So two projects in one. When you go to the website, you will actually find that Eden and FIDELIS are represented under the same domain. So it should be fairly easy to gather information from both. And since this is an EU project, it's also very, I mean, in the grant we are able to contribute towards the open science cloud by doing these things for bullet points there, supporting repositories in becoming and remaining trustworthy and fair enabling meaning and doing things in a more fair way. We're also promoting harmonization, interoperability, and shared practices. This is FIDELIS Pillar 3, and also building a sustainable European network of repository, Pillar 2 in FIDELIS project. And this is one of the key things. We think this project is different than most of the project because from the start we are aiming to build something that will be there before, after the actual project period ends, which is December 2027. So there should be a network of repositories available where people can. Some echo there, I think, Branko, right? So there should be a thriving network available even before the project ends, and the repositories can then join. Currently, there So piloting the network until towards the end of the year when the memberships become more consolidated. And then there's the pillar 4 where we are now. We are contributing to the upskilling of repositories by offering training and also financial support. You can see a number of partners we are in the consortium. Uh, probably many of those are familiar to you already through other projects. And now when we get to the actual support offers, some of those logos will make a little more sense in this context. So Fidelis training and support is a threefold thing. Uh, this is a image you can find on the website, and the website being down there also in case you want to browse there while I speak. So we are developing shared frameworks, guidelines, tools, etc., something that repositories can actually use. And for today's discussion, more importantly, we are also running an active training and support program. The building blocks are open training activities, which is bluntly speaking more of the webinar type approach. Those can happen and will happen throughout the project, and they will be introduced in our social media and the website. Then there is the peer-to-peer mentoring program, which is also a cascading grant support program. It is currently seeking the mentorship call is open until tomorrow, which is also the day when the support for the adaptation of solution opens. So for a tiny moment tomorrow, there will be 2 open calls available. So in case you're dashing in first thing tomorrow morning, make sure that you pick the right call. But the support for the adaptation solution with the green arrow is the one we are talking today. And just to briefly summarize what this call is about. So we are offering support designed to help repositories to adopt some concrete solutions. So solution can be a tool, it can be a top policy, it can be a best practice. So it takes different forms. Idea is that it's something that has been developed especially for repositories to become more trustworthy, or something that is already in use in certain number of repositories, being tested in the previous projects, etc. And also, because Fidelis provides support, Eden is our partner providing actual tools and solutions. So we will see some of those when we get to the actual support offers. So we aim to improve trustworthiness, maturity, and strengthen workflows, processes, and services the repositories offer. The actual support offer combines 3 things. So there are also always experts who are leading these workshops. Workshops will be facilitated by Fidelis members. Experts might be Fidelis people, or they could be outside of the Fidelis project. All these support offers, they include hands-on implementation work. The whole idea is that once you have been applied to the support offer towards the end, you have had a chance to implement something in your organization. We are always aiming for very sort of practical guidance, so there will be opportunities throughout the training offers to discuss with the lead experts, but there will be always opportunity to learn from your peers. So any support workshop will also have ability to discuss and share the findings and learn from others. And all this is delivered as a cascading grant program. And without going into the details, what EU cascading grants are, just a brief outline here. So these are small targeted grants provided for EU projects and to external organizations. And they are all designed to support uptake, testing, implementing these project-related solutions. So not a huge grant, but something that the outline is so that payment happen towards end of this year in December.
Thomas, Thomas, sorry, I think, could you repeat maybe the last sentence? I think all of us lost you for a second.
That's what I was just going to say, that I briefly saw that the internet connect is unstable, so I was going to ask whether you're actually hearing me or not. Okay, last bit I'll take from the FIDELIS cascading grant. So we are supporting staff time for implementation. We are enabling hands-on participation, and the payments for this, they will happen towards end of the year after successful completion of the training by each applicant. So in a potential scenario, some could be successful, others might not, but of course we are aiming that everyone who's applied and has been accepted is also able to complete the offer. And then I wish I was able to move it. Yep, here we are. So during the project, there will be two calls for the support for the adaptation of solutions. The first one opening tomorrow, so April 30th, up to 2,800 euros will be offered. So this is distributed between the four support offers and the number of applicants they can approve. Next year, almost a year from now, so a month earlier, in 21st of March, there will be a second call, which will be up to 2,200 euros. Both calls this year and next year, they will remain open for 2 months. So this means that when the call opens tomorrow, it will close in the end of June, meaning that only in July we're able to evaluate all the applications. And this gives the basic guideline that all the support offers will kick off in the autumn. Exact times are not the same for all four of them. Okay, now moving on to what we are actually offering. So there will be 4 open calls, and you can see the names there. Well, you look at them. I'll switch to my notes here. Okay, and all these 4 calls are also aligned with the acronym you may or may not have seen, TTRAM, Transparent Trustworthy Repository Attributes Matrix, which is a tool developed in the FIDELIS project, something that is aimed for the repositories to make everything they do, the actions and functions they have, more visible, more transparent to the designated audiences. So if you're aiming to make your policies, your work more visible in some of the areas of the TTRAM, you will also be able to pick one of these training offers based on your needs. And the first one is called Exposing Your Repository in the EDIN Registry. So this one comes from the EDIN project, first of all, something that has been developed there. So it focuses on improving how repositories expose their metadata for discovery and comparability. And Eden is building this European registry that aggregates harmonized metadata for repositories and making repositories more discoverable and comparable. So these are the connections. So this offer helps you to review how your repository currently exposes metadata and identify the ways how to improve the accuracy and completeness and visibility in the Eden registry, but also elsewhere. This also provides an opportunity to provide feedback for the Eden project because it's an ongoing thing. And I see my internet connection is unstable there for a moment again, which is hopefully not becoming a trend here. And this opportunity includes technical metadata exposure, but also policy and content level aspects. And in the end, it helps you to evaluate the harvested results in the Eden registry and implement improvements in the way you expose your metadata. The experts working here will come from Jans Vilko Steinhoff from CSC in Finland, Matthias Levlin, and Robert Huber from University of Bremen. And from the FIDELIS project, this is facilitated by Kim Ferguson and Mike Wapok from Dans in the Netherlands. The key elements for this support offer is that it demonstrates the Eden Harvester, provide experience guidance on improving the metadata quality and interoperability. There will be hands-on auditing of metadata exposure in different formats like JSON LD, signposting, Fairycat. They should be ideal for repository staff having managerial and technical capacity. So it requires some basic understanding how repository metadata is exposed for harvesting. So it's has a technical and managerial aspects to it. It will feature 3 workshops, consultation sessions, independent work on auditing and improving metadata. Come on, change. Here we go. So moving on to our second support offer, tools for privacy preserving data release. As you can see, the title is long enough not to fit in on my slides here. But it focuses on privacy preserving data sharing and trustworthy publication. This comes from another EOSC project work, EOSC SIESTA. This is aimed at repositories or data professionals working in data repositories specifically with sensitive data and wanting to balance openness with legal and ethical requirements. This training introduces tools, methods developed within this EOSC SIESTA framework, and it has all sort of a very practical orientation. Topics that I included are data anonymization and pseudonymization, privacy risk assessment, also synthetic data generation, and fair compliance evaluation. And there will be several tools that have been developed in EOSC SIESTA that are shown, and then there will be support provided on implementing those in your repository. All the experts are associated with the EOSC SIESTA project. So Judith Sainz-Pardo-Diaz and Alvaro Lopez Garcia are the experts. There are actually 2 more experts included in this one, I think, especially for the synthetic data generation. They were just added and not appearing on the slides, but you'll find the names on the website. And this is facilitated by FIDELIS members Helena Lozano and Fernando Aguilar Gomez from CSIC. What are the key elements of this training? So it encourages integration of privacy tools into repository workflows. It is a mix of theoretical input and hands-on exercises, um, especially suitable for repository managers and technical staff, but also researchers and data scientists working with sensitive data. Some understanding of Python is recommended. It is not a total show blocker if you do not know that. Mm, And understanding of the FAIR principles is also useful. Here, what will be offered is five different workshops, independent work on integrating the services presented into the workflows and repository services at your organization. Waiting for the next slide to appear. Number 3, then, also coming from Eden and the core preservation processes there. So the third support offer, it looks at advancing repository capabilities using the core preservation processes called CPPs for short, and the relationship with TTRAM, the one I mentioned before. So if TTRAM is something you're especially looking for, this might be interesting offer. So this offer is especially relevant for repositories that already have some familiarity with digital preservation and core trust seal. Probably will be repeated on the next slide. So, but it's aiming to support repositories in strengthening their digital preservation capacity. CPPs are 30 different microprocesses, all needed for digital preservation, long-term digital preservation. So it's supporting in assisting participants assessing their own preservation practices and identifying these gaps. Focus is heavily on planning and practical next steps and concrete approaches to overcome common roadblocks. This offer is also requesting that before you apply, you also learn some of the things that they have provided ahead of time. Experts here are Miki Lindla and Maria Benauer from TIB in Hanover, and Hervé Lours from UK Data Service. And facilitated from the FIDELIS side, Nadine Fisher, probably you'll see me there as well. And the key elements here, so it's guided coursework supported by experts. There will be lots of peer exchange and collaborative problem solving. Tailored feedback will be offered on preservation planning, and this is suitable for repository managers familiar with Core Trust Seal, who are aiming to advance their repositories' digital preservation processes. This features 5 different workshops, individual coursework on TTRAM and selected CPPs. So it does not aim to cover all 30 CPPs for all participants, but participants get to choose where they focus their efforts on. And finally, number 4, managing repositories, a service perspective is slightly different from the previous ones, as it takes a very sort of service-oriented perspective on repository management. It addresses different organizational challenges, especially those caused by understaffing in repository services, and it focuses on those skills that are needed to improve sustainability, continuity, and service management, and emphasizing sort of real-world workflows in repositories. It covers number of topics highlighted here. We have software and version control, documentation and knowledge transfer, different ticketing systems and user support, and training and onboarding practices. This opportunity comes from University of Belgrade with Vladimir Odasevich as the lead expert, and from the Fidelis side have Milica Sevkucic and Maria Ristic facilitating. And this one is relevant both for technical teams and those who are responsible for user support and training. So not only, probably not as technical as it seems on the current slide. And what is offered, a very structured step-by-step pathway, how to apply these practices in the existing organizational workflows, software development, version control, ticketing system, and quality assurance at the repository level. So designed both for user support professional and technical teams in repository services. Some technical sort of software development understanding is needed if you're approaching this from the IT point of view, but you could also be approaching this as a user support and training specialist. But you need to have some experience in working with different repository platforms. Featuring here for workshops, independent work between those workshops on practical assignments given. And I guess because I've been talking so much, this is time when I'll let Anja to provide some information about how to apply. But before we get there, this slide just highlights a few things that you need to know when you enter the platform. And I guess the most important bit is, which I haven't mentioned before, is that when you apply, you are committing to 12 to 15 days of effort. It will be asked on the platform, but you should keep that in mind, that it is not only about 4 or 5 different webinars lasting an hour or two. There has to be some days of work in between, no matter which of these 4 opportunities you are interested in. But I shut up for a moment.
Thank you so much for Thomas for explaining all the support offers, and hello everybody. I've also added in the chat more details about the support for adoption of solutions, where you can read in detail what is expected from each of the support offers. So I will just give you a quick tour of the grants platform. By the way, it's accessible via our website through the open call section, and it's accessible also via this link that Thomas is currently sharing on his screen, but I'll post it also in the chat. So Thomas, let me see if I can, could you allow me to share my screen? If you can just, there we go. Hello everybody. Let's see with my second screen. Oops. I hope you can see my screen. Yes.
Yes, something's there. Now we can see it.
Fantastic. So as you can see, when you enter the grants platform, you will see what are the currently active calls. So only for tomorrow, you will be able to see actually 2 calls. I've already clicked on FIDELIS Support for Adoption Solution call, which is the active call you would be interested in, who are participating in this session. You can see the start and the end date of your open call, so you can plan when to submit your application. You will, once clicking, you have more details about the specific call. What can you expect from it? What are some of the general information you need to know? However, I would recommend for any of the detailed info to click on the dedicated website page. It is linked, but maybe we should also bolden it to see that it's a hyperlink here. Then you'll be asked to apply. As an applicant, you have several tasks to do, so to say. We have decided that each of the support offer, you'll be able to apply basically for any you would prefer, but a minimum of 1 support offer application has to be submitted. So in this case, you see the different support offers that I was kind of testing out and opening earlier. And let's say if you want to apply just for support offer number 4, there's this section. It will firstly ask you for an eligibility check. So you need to check whether you are one of the Fidelis partner members. If not, you're eligible to receive financial support for this. If not, you would automatically be considered an observer and can participate still with the support offer, but you will not be receiving financial support. And depending on which support offer it is, different levels of one-to-one support. Then, based on where your organization is located, you can select any of the countries that are part of the Horizon Europe funding. And I would also suggest, as you're progressing through your application, you can also save it as a draft at any point. So you don't lose any of your progress. But I think certain support offer will not take a lot of time for you to fill out. I would say maybe 20, 30 minutes in total, depending on the level of detail. Then you fill out any of the, regular general information that you might need to offer, including with the disciplines that we are offering. This is more about understanding who you are and your background of your organization. All of these are currently compulsory. I don't think for this one, except for any other participants, is a mandatory field. You would have to click on yes, that you'll be participating in all of the assignments. And then we have some details regarding the application itself. The length of this section differs based on the support offer. So we can fill it as a test. And as you can see, it's very simple to complete. You will receive a message about completion, and it will take you back to the main area. The key aspect that you need to fill out is the support offer final confirmation. This is the only compulsory button, which is just a declaration that says that you have filled everything in, to the complete kind of awareness, that you filled it out by yourself. And this is more about whether you have any comments. Maybe this should actually be a consent button, but it's an optional notification system that we will install if you want to be informed about future open calls. So after that is completed, you're more or less finished. And basically, each of these would be, I put them as compulsory for now, but they would be optional. So the only one that will be compulsory is support for final confirmation. And then please, in order not to leave your tasks in a draft form, to click on the submit button once you reach this step. And then your application will progress to the review stage. I would go back to my applications. As you can see, we were testing a lot of Fidelis peer-to-peer support offers, but there's this dashboard where you can see your application and revisit it at any time. So let's say I want to see my Fidelis support for adoption of solutions. I can download my applications, so what I've completed so far. Or if you don't think you're submitted the right answer so far and you don't want to be considered with one specific application, you can also withdraw it. So there's also a button on instructions, and we're also going to put in the chat this contact detail where you can reach us out if you're facing any issues or if you have any questions. I think that's also it for me regarding the platform. I think, Thomas, is there anything else that we would need to show to the applicants? But I think it makes sense. Some of these questions will also be repeated, such as the general question for the support for offer solutions. And the only specific questions would be depending on the support offer in question. So I'll stop screen sharing. Yes, I see maybe question from Dimitar. Apply for participate. So you could technically apply to participate in 2 support offers, if I'm correct, but there's a limit to the amount of funding available. Thomas, if you want to elaborate for this one.
Yes, I'll just make sure that I'm sharing the correct slide now. Yes, I think so. Yep. So in terms of the funding available, as I showed you the total number, 2,080, which is divided over all these 4 opportunities. There is a maximum number of applicants or seats for each, and the seat, first of all, means that there is an individual doing Anja was just showing, so that you are the contact person, but you can represent a team in your organization. So the support that you're receiving means that the your organization can receive that amount of support that is available through one call. Now, the financial support for any adaptation of solutions offer will never exceed 10,000 euros. And they do not. They are ranging between 6,000 to 7,500. And also worth mentoring that every organization that applies to these Fidelis open calls can receive up to 20K or so 20,000 euros of financial support from Fidelis in total. So it's possible to apply for more than one. It's possible to sort of be part of the membership call, which is ending tomorrow. A mentorship call, not membership call, and this one, but you'll have to make sure that you do not cross the total number of funding available. Of course, we will monitor that on our applications platform. But certainly, it is possible to apply for more than one, and the chances to be included depend on, of course, number of applications we get and how the evaluation process then is carried out in July. I have a couple of more slides. Okay, I can see that there are two people in the waiting room, probably, but I'll leave others worry about that. A couple of words. I think most of these have been already said. So call is open to individuals, as I said, or individuals representing a team within a single organization. The team is important because you're implementing something, so it might not be feasible that you, as a single person, apply if you, for example, are working on customer services and you're aiming to do something that actually is implemented on a technical side of things. So being a team probably makes sense. As Anya was saying, we are looking for those citizens in EU or associated country, but there is also the opportunity to apply as an observer. And if you're applying as an observer and get approved, so first and the major thing is that then you can't receive funding. There are certain restrictions on each support offer too. They will all this information will be available on the website. But for example, say you apply for one of those calls, you do not receive funding as an observer, and you might be able to join all the support workshops. You should have an access to everything that is shared, but you might not get one-on-one support, for example, or if there is a drop-in session for any questions, those might only be available for the funded participants. And sadly, but true, I mean, if you are working so that you are affiliated with the direct beneficiaries of the Fidelis project, then the only chance of sneaking in is as an observer. And some of the things already said. So why participate? So of course you should be able to gain guidance, get hands-on experience. All of it offers are built so that there are lead experts available and they have enough time to actually answer the questions you might have. Fidelis people will do the same, but they focus on sort of managing everything in between so that you receive information in good time, links appear in your calendar, and everything should be going as smoothly as possible. As said, this time around, all the four offers we have, they are requesting from 12 to 15 person days of effort. So that is then translated directly to 6,000 from 6,000 to 7,500 euros in compensation, because we are operating on the 500 euros per day per team. So you are able to engage with peers across Europe and also contribute to shared learning through implementation story, which is a word we haven't mentioned yet, I think. When I said that any payments are done once the training has been completed. Of course, we are hoping that in the end you have implemented something that is working for your institution. Uh, that is not the thing we are looking when we are deciding on the payments. What we are looking at is active participation, so you're not missing those contact points when something happens, and then everyone is asked or requested to contribute to the implementation story, which is a public document, one per support offer, which will be published on Zenodo later on, where there are certain sections that are filled by Fidelis members, and then there are certain sections where we are asking questions and your contributions, your lessons learned, and this type of stuff. So this hopefully becomes a learning object for those who did not join the actual offer. And of course, through these trainings, you have a chance to become part of the broader Fidelis network. If you were looking at the pilot training offers we had last year in the autumn, those were only available for Fidelis members, so those organizations who had already uh, joined as provisional members. This one is open for all, with the exception of not being part of the project or not coming from the uneligible country. Some key dates before we are moving to discussions and questions. So the call opens tomorrow, sometime tomorrow. Don't be disappointed if it's not there like 8 a.m. You have plenty of time, so 2 months to complete the applications. And as mentioned before, tomorrow there are two calls open. Keep that in mind. Deadline for applications, end of June at 17 hours Central European Standard Time, summertime, not standard time. And that is the point where our Fidelis team or the evaluation team starts working. So each application will be reviewed by three Fidelis members, project members. That will happen in early July. We are hoping to guarantee some vacation time for the team as well. So applicants will be notified by mid or late July whether they have been accepted or not. None of the support offers will kick off in August. Some are in September or late September or very, very early October. And all offers are finished by November. So it's like an active 2 month period for all four different offers. Those co-authored implementation stories I mentioned, they will be drafted by and after mid-November, so that the Fidelis team has enough time to complete all the reporting, which is of course done by the end of the year. And this also sets the schedule for those payments issued for successful completion of the training should be happening in December this year too. And now when we are moving towards discussion, certain useful ways of getting more information after this webinar, there is a frequently ask questions available on the website. It's divided into three sections. What we are screen sharing is a general frequently asked questions section. So those questions that are project related, cascading grant related will be answered there. Then there is another section for the still open mentorship call, but below that there will be a general frequently asked questions, which is targeting the support of adaptation of solutions. Any remaining questions, I mean, you can always use a training Fidelis address, which will be distributed to the number of people, and we hopefully reply swiftly to your questions. And we also able to update the frequently asked questions based on the questions we get. So the Fidelis training support area is a general address. You'll find all the information, but then there is a dedicated page for Fidelis support adaptation or solutions. Let's see. Yeah, that's the final slide I have. And any questions, comments, etc. for my talks or what Anja was presenting? And since I'm sharing currently is not seeing. Okay, there's a Jose.
It's really interesting. I would like to part of this event, so I am going to look all the details and I will try to apply.
Good to hear.
So is it open for Turkey too? Application?
I've just added in the chat a PDF that can help answer that because there's a lot of countries that are associated. We have added the list of eligible countries to the form. So if you can find your country in the form, then it's eligible. But I'm also attaching the latest kind of consultation from the European Commission about eligibility for fundings because some countries are associated, some have special kind of, let's say, conditions. So I hope that Turkey is in listed. Yes, I see it on number 20.
Yes. Yep.
So
Number 20.
Yep. Yep.
Okay,
And
it's possible.
yeah, good. And since we are mostly targeting European countries, also means that any events happen during the European daytime. So should you be approaching from the countries like Canada or South Korea, that might sort of twist your schedule during the training. Okay, I see another question. Is it Hussein? Yep. Go ahead.
Hello. Um, it's a very specific one. I'm from North Macedonia, and we will have to pay for cross-reference DOIs, digital object identifiers. Does this grant cover those? I think it was like 275 euros for the university to pay cross-ref, and times 33,000. I think around four, let's say, to be very specific, can I apply for this project, but also apply for funding for the university so they can pay for their cross-reference DOIs?
So, I mean, none of these opportunities would be sort of available so that you would use the grant for, let's say, DOIs. So they are solely to make sure that you have enough time to implement something. Of course, if that allows you to spend some of the existing money for different purposes, that is totally fine. But I mean, if you get funded, it is not sort of meant to purchase license ideas. There is on the general FAQ, there is an actual one question that should address this more directly. I'm trying to see whether I'm able to find it while talking. Not really being very successful at the moment. Yeah, but I mean, this idea of the cascading grants is that they are aimed for the actually sort of carrying out the work that we are offering as a cascading grant thing.
Yeah, so basically offering grants for working on the repositories, making them more fair compliable, I would say.
Yeah.
But if I apply for a specific grant, first of all, that's why I asked,
Mm.
Can I apply for two things? Because the first one is like I'll improve the repository
Mm-hmm.
to make it more compliant to FAIR principles and open science standards.
Mm-hmm.
And the fourth one is that I will need to have some kind of a certificate for training the other librarians to do so.
Yeah.
So let's say if those are two grants, will the institution in this moment, it will be the biggest public university in Macedonia, University St. Kilometodis, will they get two grants so they can pay from those amount of money their DOIs? Because it's like 33,000 of the 33,000 objects at the moment. That was my question.
Right.
I can apply for 1 and 4, but can they also take that money so they can pay for their DOIs and then for the training of their librarians based on my work that I will do until December? Because it will be a parallel thing.
Yeah.
I hope it's clear that what I'm asking.
Yeah, and we can get to these details later on via email too. But if I got everything right, then there is no. I mean, no one's blocking those two if they are separate grants. So with the cascading grants, it's just that you can't use them to fund travel or equipment. But if there is another grant that allows you to do that, then that is not a problem. So it's not seen as your institution would have already used the possibility to get these grants.
Okay, thank you.
And then there was, I saw a hand. Go ahead, whoever it was.
Okay, thank you for clarification of this call. But from Africa content, I asked if I'm eligible to this call.
So
yes, from Africa.
Yeah. So yeah, was it South Africa or Africa in general?
Tanzania.
Tanzania. Okay. I understand that puts you in the category of applying as an observer. As far as I remember, Tanzania is not the affiliated country to the Horizon Europe projects, but you can certainly apply as an observer.
I would say again, maybe it would be best to consult the PDF I shared in the chat because there's the latest update, I think from February 2026, which are eligible.
Yeah.
And it also has a list of which are the, countries that are automatically eligible for the funding, even from the African continent. So please go through the details of the list.
I'm seeing the list right now, and it says that Tanzania is automatically eligible for funding.
So then they can raise funds. Indeed.
Sorry about that. I didn't scroll far enough.
Yeah, but it says subject to the respect of EU restrictive measures. So it's a disclaimer that you have to see.
Yeah, okay.
But according to the list, this is automatically eligible for funding.
Right. Okay, good. Yeah. And I mean, if knowing that there are so many countries in the world, consulting that document and shooting an email to the FIDELIS email training, FIDELIS email is probably the best way of us figuring out what is the latest situation. Because as pointed, some of the changes have happened even after the Fidelis project started. And there's the next questions, Galan. We're not hearing you if you're saying something. All right. At least I'm not hearing if to be more precise.
But I think in the chat there are comments from Galant.
I'm not seeing
I'm
the
not sure
chat at
if
the
you can
moment.
see it, Thomas.
Let me get to the chat.
Okay, great.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, now we can hear you.
All right. I wanted to check. So if I have European collaborators and I'm in South Africa, can we apply? Can that collaborator apply as a for this funding for us to collaborate?
Interesting question. I mean, if your EU member organization applies and is eligible, then certainly you can be part of that. We are when we are doing the payment that's directed to the institution that was mentioned on the application form. But how do you sort of distribute that is then up to you.
Okay. Thank you.
And certainly I should mention, as it says, teams in single organization, but of course that sort of a single means that is the organization that applies. If you're distributing your work or working like a federated setting, that of course also constitutes a team because you wouldn't be able to do it otherwise. I think we have more or less sort of spent the time we have put aside for this one. But if there are any further questions, now we can still take a few.
Thank you so much for your presentation. I have to leave.
Thank you. And the information will be available on the website.
Okay.
And we are more than happy to answer any questions. And if you have any suggestions, I mean, if you think that the question is important, we'll try to update the frequently asked questions too.